Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Weekly Account Fixing. Let's get right into it. This week, a lot happened. New patch dropped, new banners, new part of the map, new quests, and I played a lot. I didn't want to fall behind in exploration and have more catching up to do, so I tried to keep up as much as I could. As such, not only did I complete one old world quest, Arena of Good and Evil, but I also completed the first half of the event quest available in the new summer resort region. The first of the two was a massive pain. I started the Arena of Good and Evil quest thinking I'd probably be done in an hour or so, like the Narcissan Crew's adventure team from last week, and yeah, it wasn't that at all. I also did a small part of the Aranara questline. I thought I was mostly done with it since I had started it a while back to unlock the Varanara tree in Sumeru, but after looking it up, the quest takes supposedly around 10 to 12 hours? So instead of torturing myself with that, I'll just chip away at it when I feel like it. As for the summer resort quests, I only completed half of the questline because it just came out, and you know, Hoyoverse really likes to time gate things when an event comes out, so I'll do the second half next week. Since said summer resort is a part of Natlan, which is my most explored region alongside Inazuma, I thought I'd put a lot of work into exploring it. I guess I feel like if I can keep the whole region mostly completed, it'll force me to go back and work on the other more neglected regions. I got about 87% exploration in the summer resort, grabbed all the Pyroculi on the map to max out my Natlan statues, and got the Tablet of Tona to level 48 out of 50. I'm still missing a few chests around the place, but that'll probably be done next week. After that, I'll either do a clean sweep of Natlan to get everything to 100%, or go back to Sumeru and Fontaine. I haven't decided on that yet. More importantly, new patch marked the start of the CITLALI and INEFFA banners. I'm gonna be honest, a couple days before the banners, I started having second thoughts on pulling for CITLALI, thinking INEFFA could be good since she's the newer unit. But I held myself to my prior commitment of going for CITLALI, knowing for sure she'd be a worthy addition instead of the big maybe that INEFFA is. Now, my pulls for CITLALI brought me C2 Sethos, 3 Shengshos, who's already been C6 for years at this point, and 1 Fischl. Crucially, I actually only had C5 Fischl, so I was pretty happy getting C6. I also got 2 Sacrificial Greatswords because I'm subscribed to Sacrificial Greatswords apparently. Seriously, I have a ridiculous amount of them compared to my other 4-star weapons. Regardless, as for the 5-star... Wait, hold on, I was not ready. This is somewhat early, this isn't even 75, I think. Oh no, Let's go! After 54 pulls, I won my 50-50 and got CITLALI. The pulls were live on Twitch with chat, by the way, who forced me to do one more single pull after already getting what I wanted. Still, a 5-star on 57 pity is earlier than soft pity, and so earlier than I had planned. I was really happy to be able to keep some of my Primogems for the next banner that I want to pull for. As you can imagine, getting CITLALI sort of hijacked my resin spending for the rest of the week, and it's starting to cause a couple issues. See, building CITLALI requires quite a bit of resin. Mora, of course, to cover the cost of everything, but also Ascension materials, and mostly getting artifacts for her. Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City is a new set, and I don't happen to have any spare pieces that are usable for CITLALI, which adds quite a steep cost. Talent materials are fortunately not something I need, as I did have almost everything needed for her simply through exploring Natlan and through various events. Now, I just complained about the resin cost of raising CITLALI up, yet you might notice she's still not ascended past level 16. and the reason for that is quite simple. I'm literal days away from leveling to Adventure Rank 58, which would get my word level up to level 9, and guaranteeing the boss drop me more materials. Seriously, I should hit AR 58 somewhere next week, and the guaranteed extra drops will actually matter in saving resin at this point. Now, unfortunately, building CITLALI incurred other costs that, in hindsight, I could have either prepared for or should have paid a long time ago. Since I got CITLALI to get a higher damage output with Arlecchino, my team had to change. I used to run her with Xingqiu, Bennett, and Zhongli. Now, CITLALI obviously takes Xingqiu's spot, as I'm replacing Vaporize with Melt, but since she also brings the shield to the team, as well as Resistance Shred, Zhongli's role becomes quite redundant. So I replace him too. And in his place, my account really only has one option: Sucrose. Unfortunately, while I always knew how valuable of a character Sucrose is, I never really bothered building her. And so I don't happen to have a Viridescent Venerer set for her, which is about half of what you play Sucrose for anyway. So, this week, my resin's been hijacked by Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, with all the trash pieces going to the strong box for Viridescent Venerer pieces. The silver lining is that all I want for Sucrose is to have as high elemental mastery as possible. I don't care at all about energy recharge, as I don't actually intend on using her burst with my rotation. Speaking of rotation, I've been having quite a hard time trying to adapt my Arlecchino's new rotation. I can swap my characters correctly and all, but I really have been struggling to not apply too much pyro, so much that it overtakes my cryo application. Still, I'm working on improving that. In the end, all that resin spent towards CITLALI means I've unfortunately put Arlecchino's artifacts aside once more. But I decided that as soon as I have a usable set of Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City for CITLALI, I'll be hitting Arlecchino's domain while strongboxing for Viridescent Venerer, until I can get a comfortable 4 pieces for Sucrose. Finally, even though Imaginarium Theater reset this week, I didn't feel the energy in me to try it yet. I'll probably do that next week though. Alright, let's get to the resin and Primogem recap. This week, I earned a whole 4,894 Primogems and 5 Intertwined Fates, bringing me up to 6,002 Primogems and 5 Fates. The usual 630 from Welkin and 420 from commissions, followed by 1,504 from exploration, 900 from events including the character trials, 800 in the form of 5 Fates from the monthly shop reset, 600 from the new patch mail rewards, 420 from the various world quests I cleared, 340 from achievements, and 40 from the battle pass. This week, however, I did pull 61 times, costing me 9,760 Primogems. As mentioned before, this leaves me with 6,002 Primogems and 5 Fates, or the equivalent of 42 pulls. 42 pulls left, right after pulling, is definitely quite a comfortable amount. Still, I'm worried 6.0 might release some character I want. So, I decided I'd create a list. 6 characters that I'm allowing myself to pull for, the rest being a forceful no-go. I'll reevaluate this list in 6.8. That way, it gives me 6 characters a year I can pull for, which I feel is relatively generous. Here's the list. Yellen and her weapon Aqua Simulacra. Columbina, which has been teased by Hoyoverse to come out in Nodcry, as well as her weapon. Escoffier to round up my Skirk team. The last 3 characters are characters I already own. Arlecchino up to C1, Furina up to C2, and Xianyun up to C2, alongside her weapon. I would add Daneslave to the list, but honestly, I doubt Hoyoverse decides to release him this year. Okay, let's move on to the resin spent. As usual, 90 resin went to the weekly bosses. I've been clearing the same 3 as usual. 340 were used for Skirk artifacts, with honestly still nothing good coming out of it. 240 went towards Mora ley lines. Thanks to those, I've been able to keep a steady Mora income to go with all the leveling of random things I've been doing. The last 640 of my resin, alongside my transient this week, went towards CITLALI artifacts. I managed to get an okay set, but I'd still like something a bit better. So I'll probably have to spend at least one more week in this domain. I still have over 50 fragile resins sitting around for a potential huge influx of resin towards my builds if I want to, but honestly I don't really know what I'd use it for. That wraps up this week's account recap. If you like the series, be sure to subscribe to not miss next episode.